Hey there, folks. It's 11:55 a.m. Saturday, February 18th, 2017. It's funny, 11:55. 55 is strong physical movement, which is what this is about, and 11 is about spirit. Strong spirit, actually, source. Anyway, I'm going to make this as quick as possible. My own energy is from inside. Part of me from inside is working on my head right now. It's relative to telepathy and image, sending and receiving imagery communication is what I was going to say. Anyway, the other video I did this morning, excuse me, I was stopped halfway through it. I've been bugged for 48 hours to do something, but just lightly, and it was time for me to hurry up and address it. So it came in strong during the middle of the video. When I'm doing a video, I'm relaxing and calmer than normal. And anyway, I started talking with Draw council member, ambassador, a lot of different things. And then and then to ear. And after I saw it, I had to make a video of it. I talked with Deanna about it. Of course, her first. She's right here. And Deanna, she's strong as hell, man. She can really see good. I mean, it's nutty. She sees it fast immediately, and I said, see what you can do? And she goes, no, that's normal. That's just normal thought. I said, no, it's not. So many of you think the same thing. It's, for Pete's sake, how can you come up with this stuff out of nowhere? I said, something going on in space. What is it? And she says, well, it's like there's a big fleet resting. It's all resting. And I said, yeah. And what's going on? She goes, activity coming soon. I'm like, okay, good. You don't just make that stuff up. If somebody was making up, they probably would have said, oh, hey, there's strong action right now, which things are blowing up. Wow. That's when someone probably would make something up, unless that's what's actually happening. Then I got a hold of Burju and Siobhan. I need to get a hold of more, but there's other things they need to know about. Anyway, so they had been trying to get a hold of me, and I got a hold of them. They were in council. There's generals, admirals, that type of hierarchy of the top end of the fleet commanders, etc. Or a Sapporian family member he's Sapporian, but he's got some really strong DNA that's serious as dragon. I hadn't mentioned that yet, but whatever. How much do you say about something where it becomes personal, and how much is okay? It's kind of a fine line. Stuff I talk with people about in consults, that's considered sacred. Okay. Those of you I've had consults with, you know what you tell me never comes out. So I might talk about something that happened in a consult, no names, no nothing, but that's only happened like 3 times anyway. Once this happened, once that happened. Anyway, I told you about an offensive that was being made within the Federation, you know, the Federation military civil war. And I told you it's like a battle. It's going to be short, but it is literally a war. It's a civil war. And then I told you a couple days later, a few days later, whatever it was, I remember daytime, nighttime, okay? If it wasn't for Deanna and her putting everything on my phone where I could readily see it, I'd be so screwed with the stuff. Anyway, so it's over, and then for a couple of days here, I've been kind of, like I said a few minutes ago, I was being hammered. It's like, you know, hey, conversation time, and I'm like, okay. And so I was literally talking a little while ago with the folks here in the board. This in a meeting, a boardroom, whatever. But it's military, it's top end officials, and they represent the new alliance military force. It's like I said in a previous video about the Federation military being disbanded. They were broken up, torn apart. The Federation was given the smaller ships they needed. Some of them have weapons for sure, but the larger fighting ships and everything were taken from them because they're not supposed to belong to a group of planets that want to run the whole Federation, be in charge of it. It's like our government's here. It's a joke. Bad one. Excuse me. So, anyway, sorry, I'm having problems, man. Just, my head is just coming out. I have to hurry and get this out, though. So anyway, we were talking. And without covering everything we talked about, what was decided is that it's time for them to move forward with freeing this planet. So they're finishing putting together their fleets. The Alliance had the Drakh in it. They was the strongest, you know, group of it was the strongest military there was anywhere. But now the Federation has gone its way. The Federation screwed up, and they tried to push the Drakh, and the Drakh, without hardly lifting a finger, slammed them. The main 4 planets, that the most important 4 planets, actually 5, but whatever, the 4 of them got hit hard. The 5th one just said, okay, no problem. We're going to let go of this embargo stuff. It was affecting planets all over the universe that needed things, everything from medical supplies to the technology to, you know, help with many other things. A lot of it, most all of it, humanitarian. So one planet, 2 of them, one of them in particular, though, has a rich source of a material used in weapons. And they had a lot. I mean, it's like the planet, it's got a lot of it. You know, a lot of that in it. Anyway, so after the Drakh took that over, then the military for the Federation said, that's enough. This is stupid. We haven't been able to back up what the Federation has had us do for the longest time. That's enough. So the head fighting general, so to speak, they have different names, Serpolian source, family member. He literally broke away with 25% of the fleet, but he left with the heaviest hitters. Most all the heavy starships left with him. There's, like I said, he's the 4th in command. The other 3, like I mentioned in the previous video, or whichever one, a video 2 ago, that they did politics. They were politician generals or something. So they broke away, and the next thing you know, there's 40% that have broken away, gone to that side, and then 37 ships were taken out. 37 still loyal to the Federation ships, their largest ships were taken out. And the Drakh stepped in and said, that's enough. No more. If y'all want to continue this fight, they were talking to the Federation, the ones loyal to the Federation, if y'all want to continue this, then we'll finish it. It's not going to be allowed. That doesn't mean they're going to kill everyone. They're not. They're just going to stop, grab the ships, take the people, kick them off the ships, and take the ships. I mean, it's not totalitarian like, you know, all this stuff you see on the internet and here on the internet. It's hearing, not much seeing. The Drakh had been here for a long time, you know, helping out, but they've been aware of what's going on here for a real long time. Having a couple of people here, person there. They've been waiting for the right time. They've known what was going on here for more than 10 years. And I mean, in great detail. So anyway, man, it's rough. They were putting together the next few days, the next, a week or so, they're putting together their fleets. Bonding is one. And putting together their strategy. That's what they were doing this morning, a couple hours ago. And February 26th of 2017, this year, now, less than 2 weeks, they're going to initiate something on this planet. Different people are going to be put in place in different areas. And the Anunnaki that are here are going to see that. Now, they also listen to me. They're literally listening to me right now. When I make this video on my equipment, they literally see it, get it. Folks, microwave towers are used with equipment not of this planet, except the fact that the Anunnaki are some of the problematic Anunnaki, the ones that live here on this planet, most all of them are problematic. They have equipment where they can do that very easily. Satellites and microwave towers are tools that they use. Anyway, it doesn't matter that they know. It's important that they do know this ahead of time. February 26th, things are going to be put in place, and they're going to see it. They're going to become aware that there's new people, new ships in strategic places, and some in other places that don't really make sense. They'll try and understand it. They know the Drakh are here. The ships they're going to see are not going to be Drakh, except for a couple of small scout ships that'll be with them. That's enough to make the point that, you know, they're here for a reason and they're with the Drakh. The 27th, the process is going to be initiated. On the 28th, it'll be fully activated. Next few months after that, removal. Removal of the hard removal of the prisoners, the Anunnaki and other folks that are living on a planet that have been problematic. Anunnaki are cool, remember that, okay? Anunnaki are awesome. It's just the ones here on the planet that got issues. They've been running us and abusing us and the planet for a little over about 10.25 million years. They've been a predominant force here. So anyway, March is going to be some heavy stuff coming. You're going to see some of this stuff on video. I don't have exact dates, and I have no desire to go get any exact dates. Number one, they're making up their mind about it. Number two, the other side isn't pushing them too hard, except for February 28th is when something is going to happen that's strong. I've told you to draw here for a long time and what was going on. I told you that prisoners would be released. And I showed you a video before. Here's the video right here. Let me put it up for you. Okay, that video literally will show you a Drakh ship that's in a cloud that has ripped out a complete underground facility. 23 floors, pulls it up. The cement between these floors, especially the lower levels, folks, they're 4.5 foot of concrete. There's 800 and 900 pound Nanonaki walking on them. And that thing that looks like fingers coming down like that, that's literally an attachment that goes on it that has a strong force field that keeps it together. It is so heavy. They carved out part of the ground, folks. That's what this is. They went deep in the ground, way deep, put it in there and pulled it out. They have all this huge equipment. These folks are incredible. So there's a huge ship. It's about like this, and there's a hole in it right here. Okay? Now what happens is this ship has an energy field where the hole is. It's a tractor beam that can pull this thing out. It pulls it out of the ground, and you can see where as it pulls this thing out, underneath it there's a little trail of energy. And then once it goes through the smaller cloud, that's where the Drakh, it's called a recovery ship. The Drakh recovery ship, blah. Like I said, I'm working the hell out of my head right now. This is hard. And then it pushes the device up in the air. Okay, it just pushes it straight on up. When it pushes it, that's heavy, even for the Drakh. This is a huge piece of, it's a whole underground facility. Okay? It's like, you can't extract us. It's screw you. We're taking your whole little mini city. So it's a facility. I don't call them cities, but whatever. So they cut it out. Then they bring it up. When they get it through the ship and start pushing it up to a bigger cloud that's above it, that's a little lighter, a little wider in color. The lower one has more energy in it. The lower cloud had to be darker. Okay? And then when it goes out into the upper cloud, where it goes into there, it's actually pushing it up into the Elorian ship. It's an Elorian, it's a huge Elorian ship, okay? It's like a mini mothership. It's huge. Pushes it up into it, and then finally, when it starts getting up in the cloud, then the, let's call it tractor beam capabilities of that ship are finally met. Then finally, it finishes pulling it up into the ship. Okay, and when it pushes it up, you can see this plasma. It looks like a plasma beam. It's all, you know, squiggled, and, you know, you can see where it's pushing up. It's stressing, pushing this huge facility up into it. And this thing that's hanging down like that, that creates a force field that holds the whole thing together so it doesn't fall apart. And then as soon as it gets up into that cloud, then on the bottom where it was pushing it, all of a sudden there's a thin line. Well, that's the thin line you're going to see. When something grabs a tractor beam and they pull it up, there's a thin line of energy coming off. There's like an overflow that goes over, okay? And then the real thick, strong, and squiggly part, it's not pushing anymore, so it's gone. And then it goes up, okay? Heck, I'm just going to show you the whole video again. Here, look at this. Okay, folks. This is from Secure Team 10. Giant plasma UFO over Arizona. Secret hologram test, question mark. 12/1/16. Crazy plasma sucking UFO sending Arizona into panic mode. Okay. Let's just take a look at what we have here. No thanks to the ads. Right, that's a pretty large cloud, and over here's a bigger one with an entrance right here. Now, what the heck's going on here? Something's going up in there. See how you can see it's being pushed up in there? Look at this thing floating around there too. Okay, hold on. Look at this right here. How you can see this is bent. and it's almost like spiral, but it's not spiral, it's just pushing. See the massive buildup of energy right here pushing? Now watch how this all falls away as it starts getting pulled up into this biggest of the two clouds. See how it's bent? It's pushing. Now look, it's being received by the Illyrian mothership, and watch what happens here. It falls away. Because the Drakh ship below it is no longer pushing it up there. The Drakh recovery ship. See, look at this. That's energy buildup. This device right here is literally made to hold this facility together that's in there. This thing here is huge. Here's the Drakh recovery ship. Here's the huge Illyrian ship right up there. This covers a Drakh recovery ship. It's got a hole in it. Big opening in it. And it pushes it right up in. It pulls it up into it, and then pushes it up through into the other cloud. See, that's where it pushes it up into the Illyrian mothership. There it goes, right into that little hole. That's the opening. You can't really see a whole lot of the facility in there. But this thing is huge. It looks like fingers. That's literally holding a facility in there. Look at the size of this thing. There you go. If you look at the energy here. They're calling it plasma. Look at the energy here that's pushing this whole thing up. Okay? Unfortunately, this isn't the best shot in the world. What you can see behind this is literally like a, I don't know how to, it's like a core that was taken out of an apple or something. It was actually taken out of the ground. Folks, this is huge. This thing here is incredibly large. The Drakh recovery ship below it down here is literally, it's the Drakh energy that's pushing this whole device up. This thing creates a force field in a cradle that holds what's inside of it. You can only see barely a little bit of it over here. But it's the inside core facility, like the elevator shaft that goes down and the main stuff coming off of it. That's what this is right here on the ground facility. Let's see. Excuse me. See as it pushes it up. It's bent. Now here's the Drakh recovery ship right there. See how it's a fine line as it sucks it in? It's pulling it right in. But then as it goes to push it, the energy is pushing it. It's going through a lot more strife. And then finally it comes up to a thin stream when the Illyrian mothership that's up here pulls it in. Watch this. Watch this go from a little twisted to just a little bit. As the Illyrian mothership can finally put a lock on it, its tractor beam, and start pulling it up, then the Drakh ship isn't pushing energy so hard. That's energy that's twisted and pushing. See, right now it's getting pulled up into the ship, into the Illyrian mothership. So what happens? The Drakh ship doesn't have to push it anymore and it fades away. If you could have seen that from the other side, you would have seen more of the actual foundation that's in there. That's where it's pushing it up. And then all of a sudden it gets near there. Look at that. It just falls right away because the Illyrian mothership, its tractor beam is finally strong enough to pull it up there. Don't worry, I won't say it again. I've said it 10 times, but look at that. That's power being literally located and pushing that up. This thing is incredibly strong, incredibly heavy, and we are in Earth's gravity. See how it's twisted down there? Oh, they are, folks. There's the Drakh here, working with the Illyrian mothership up here to actually take a facility. Okay, there you go. Okay. I've told y'all before many times that you live in an incredible time. When stuff comes up, it gets sent to me. I can't sit in front of a computer and do stuff. I do a little work on the computer that I have to do, and then, folks, I'm done. I'm out of here. I have all kinds of stuff to do. I'm gonna right now. I literally have to get off this thing, start rendering this video, plus the other video, and then once I put that together, and it's working, cooking, then literally my brain is gonna finish. Just I get shut down, and I'm working on my own brain to get it fixed where it needs to be. I've told you before, I talk with these folks. I don't mean I told you before this video, which I did. I'm talking about, I've been saying this for a long time. I talk with them. Stephen Lewandowski does all the time, too. A lot of our family members do. Siobhan is at the point where she talks to them with heart all the time. She's a really strong spirit animal, too. Deanna, we talk with them. Burju and Paul, they talk with them. Burju, Paul, and Deanna, they've had them running around their own house, literally. So, anyway, folks, think whatever you want. That's cool. This is real. The reason why I show you the time, date stamp with the camera, so you have some kind of, with the camera, with the phone, so you have some kind of proof. I'm sure there's some way to look it up and look at the actual video, see when it's made or something. I don't know. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. It was hard enough for me to learn how to render a video. Well, folks, look, love you. Have a good one. You're going to start seeing things happening. You're going to see it. Okay? It's time. It was supposed to happen earlier. I was supposed to be gone already. It's happening a different way. That's fine. That's not a problem. The thing is that it's happening. That's the most important part of it. So, folks, love you, man. Take care and just keep watching the sky. Keep feeling things yourself with your heart. Keep trusting your gut when you get the feeling that something's right or wrong. And then the more you become yourself, the more you understand. And when you understand something better, you weren't wrong before. You were growing, developing. Sometimes the biggest problem we have is ourselves, because of how we've been raised as spirit, out of body, and while we're in bodies, having lives. And y'all have had a lot of lives. So don't pick on yourself. And learn to have more faith in yourself. Hell, I got more faith in y'all than y'all have in yourselves. Folks, love you, man. Have a good one.